So, in advance, we asked on Instagram, what questions might the audience have for you? And we've got some. I missed the questions that already have been covered, but the one I think is very fascinating. Then you start a journey with a piece.
Mm-hmm.
How do you understand that this is the interpretation you want?
Well, it takes time, because the first step, it really depends if the piece is a very famous one, because if it's a famous one, you have already in the ears many versions. So in that case, the first step is to forget everything, to meet with the piece from scratch. This is absolutely essential. It's not optional. To not build your interpretation after Schnabel, after Horowitz, after Rubinstein. No. When you meet with a piece, you need to meet with the piece personally. It's only when you are enough advanced in your work that it can be interesting to listen to other interpretation with critical thinking. Thinking, oh, this is a nice idea. Yes, but it cannot go with it. But to really feel yourself when you are a performer, you cannot just play the card of, oh, no, but I'm a humble, I'm not Horowitz. Or, I mean, if you are looking for being a concert pianist, you are looking for exactly what Horowitz was doing himself. So you cannot put yourself too low. And if you are playing a Beethoven piece, you face Beethoven directly. So to feel too small, you cannot get to the piece. It's not about being pretentious. It's about respecting the score for real. If you want to pay a true respect of the score, it's not like respecting the composer who was respecting the interpretation that was made by this legend of the piano. There are too many steps between you and the score then. You need to meet directly with the score. So for this, if the piece is famous, forget everything you heard about it and read the score as if you discover the score. It's very hard to do, but it's essential. Then, if the piece is not a famous one, even like when it's something that almost nobody plays, it's a different thing, because you don't have this effort to do. You really meet with the piece and you really have to provide an interpretation, and there is nobody before you that can help you. And it's very interesting to notice that a lot of performers, they are always playing the same repertoire because they can rely on many interpretations that already exist. And this is the reason why, unfortunately, there is still a lot of repertoire to be played more. I really think that it also depends on the way we are taught musically, that when you are more concentrated on the pure music, then you have tools for any piece of music, even when it's not famous, because it's the same language, you know? But when you are not trained like this, and you are just trained to practice your instrument, and that you develop your interpretations after some recordings that you have in the ears, then you don't have access to the repertoire that is not very often played. So this is one of the first like preliminary answer to the question. Then to really answer to the question, how I know it's right, I have to say, I never know. I can never be sure that it's right. And this is part of the risk-taking as a performer. You cannot be a performer if you don't accept the risk of getting wrong. And it's better to take a risk and get wrong than imitating. That is a very big rule for interpretation. Imitating is absolutely to ban. Imitating another, and even worse, imitating yourself. So when I play Gaspard de la Nuit, for example, for the 500th time, or I don't know how many times I played this piece, the main challenge for me is to not repeat myself, to not do in a routine and imitate myself. That, oh, the other time I found this nice timing, I will do exactly the same. It cannot be exactly the same, because there are too many notes, too many parameters, and it's a different piano, it's a different stage, it's a different mood, it's a different audience. So the challenge is to actually renew and refresh the interpretation constantly. And this is what makes this profession so attractive for me, is that it's never the same, ideally. And for me, this is what I like in this, to not repeat and never feel in a comfort zone. And, yeah, this is a piece I played so many times, I don't have any, I can think about something else when playing it. It's awful. This is to ban, absolutely. And then how do I know that it's good? For example, take a piece like Ravel, Alborada del Gracioso. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. Probably because I'm practicing this piece and will perform it for the first time very soon. The piece tells a story. There is a character. There is a dancing character. It's like a serenade between an ugly man, old, who wants to seduce a beautiful lady at her window. It's actually, there is like some sort of story behind it. And you have the characters, and of course, the sounds you will find to express this, they depend on this story. So it has to be grotesque. It has to be, you have this dissonance written by Ravel, like if it's playing out of tune, you know. So the first thing would be for me to not sound too kind, because we need to hear this dissonance. This is the first thing. Then you can imagine the old man trying to do like an elegant dance and being a bit clumsy. So I would need to have something a bit uneven, a bit like. And then, like. And then starting to do like something ridiculously a bit like a romantic, you know. I cannot tell you that I'm right, because you will have a lot of Ravel specialists who will tell you, no, Ravel wanted to be strictly played in tempo, and it had to be strictly what is written on the score. So if you only play the notes and what is written, and you don't invest yourself in like telling a story, you will play. And then nothing happens. Everything is just square. There is no magic in this. You know, there is, and then when you are in the middle of, is the lady talking? Like, if you want to seduce me, you have to do better. And this Spanish garden with some perfume of flowers. You have to get better. Like hiding, you know, like if you want to find me, you have to get better. And this hiding. And all this, you know, I don't know if I'm right, but I want to go as far as I can with my technical means, with my imagination, with the musical knowledge, to not let anything beside, to really go there with all the information I can get from the score, and I can bring myself to it, to really believe in what, and to not just, okay, it's written triplet and to and then no, then it becomes like music. It becomes like elevator music, you know. And so there is this progression, this drama that is going with the music, and this is what I try to follow, as if, okay, I am in charge of staging a Shakespeare play. So I have the Shakespeare text, and this is basically the only thing I have. And I have to forget about Laurence Olivier. I have to forget about Kenneth Branagh. I meet with the Shakespeare piece, and I want to communicate as many things as possible from the score. So what can I follow? You have to follow then the score, the text, and to really to take it very seriously, to get involved personally, to not just say, I am an actor performing a work of art. I am an interpreter performing a piece of music. No, you become the piece of music. You become the piece of music. So this is the strongest thing I can say. So, you know, if we were on the court and I would have to stand and say, justify myself, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I would just say, I just did my best. I just did my best to get involved 100%, to be true to myself. And the only thing I want is to play the music as how to say, as communicative as possible, you know? Because for me, the respect to the composer is that. Is not to believe that you respect the composer by listening to your teacher, who listen to Schnabel, who listen to everything, and then you are in the great tradition. This is not existing. This is, at least as artificial as the things that would come out from your imagination, that at least would be honest.